They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Okay, welcome to Ayn Rand Was Right, the game, aka BioShock. You are watching Underplayed. It's gaming's island of misfit toys, where we look at the titles that you may have missed, although you probably didn't miss this one. In general, on Underplayed, we try to feature, as the name implies, underplayed titles, indie games, or just sleeper hits, cult classics like that. And BioShock is definitely more mainstream than the rest of the stuff. But it's worth noting that BioShock was revolutionary for a lot of its games. Its world building is really what it's most famous for. Heavily inspired by criticisms of Ayn Rand and her works, such as Atlas Shrugged. And a spiritual successor to System Shock, the System Shock series. Now, once again, this is a bit more mainstream than most of the stuff that we would tend to play, but I think that... Darker. Hey, look at that. It's a happy-looking gentleman. No gods are kings, only man. Some nice, pretty, creepy music in here. Somewhere over the sea, my love's waiting for me. Alright. So, they do a pretty good job of just kind of dropping you in the situation here, and, I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to not get in this giant metal sphere of death? I mean, there's not really any place else you can go. Alright, so they like art here, that's a good thing. And speaking of art, I think that too often we get caught up in science, look at that. We get too often in caught up in like this battle between the mainstream and you know, indie or true art, you know? And I don't think that a whole lot is gained by that. Really, you should celebrate great storytelling, great achievements, no matter whether it's, you know, AAA mainstream title or something that nobody's heard of. So, just had to get that out of the way, get my little disclaimer that I'm not a total hipster. Alright, let's I'm stuck. But I did play BioShock. I was absolutely blown away by the story world they created and the plot. It was amazing, so certainly about time to look at this. Now, they did an excellent job of recreating the Art Deco movement here. Hey, look at that. Fire at your fingertips. Plasmids by Ryan Industries.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture. A city where the artist would not fear censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
Well, this is quite a city you got here. Good things in store. Now, as I recall, like one of the major criticisms of BioShock Infinite, which is, you know, universally lauded and won tons of Game of the Year awards, but one shortcoming that some people did point out was that it was too much like BioShock. You know, it was pretty much just a very similar game, just in a different setting. And I don't know that's necessarily a bad thing, because I know that BioShock Infinite explored a couple of different ideals. Here we're talking about economic systems, and BioShock Infinite focuses a little bit more on racism and cultural prejudices, I guess.
No trespass. Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. Just give me my gun.
This isn't good. Oh! That was just uncalled for.
Is it someone new?
Chill out, lady. No, you stop that. Stop whatever you're doing right now.
Would you kindly pick up that shortwave radio?
Scary stuff. Alright, so we got a radio?
I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive. Now keep on moving. We're gonna have to get you to higher ground. Take a deep breath and step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you twisting in the wind. We're gonna need to draw her out of hiding, but you're gonna have to trust me.
So one of the great triumphs of the BioShock series is the method of its storytelling is predominantly visual. You don't have very many cinematics or cutscenes or what have you. It's really all about exploring the world around you and you know, kind of piecing together the story by what you see, which is a great concept, and it's one that video games are especially well suited as a medium to handle.
I'll wrap you in a sheet.
Certainly gets the creepy going very well. I noticed you can make an argument that this is a sort of different genre than BioShock Infinite should not have come. Well, didn't really have a choice in that matter. My plane crashed. BioShock here is definitely heavier on the horror elements. BioShock Infinite was more of kind of an action-adventure kind of game. There's definitely some disturbing stuff in it, but I never got it. Oh, shit.
How do you like that, mister? Now, would you kindly find a crowbar or something? Bloody splicer. Seal Johnny in before they... Goddamn splicers.
Splicers, you say? Okay. Just gotta find a way to get over this. Can I jump? Oh, I can jump. How about that? It's just not the button it usually is. Usually it's the A button. Okay. There we go. Haha! Something glowy.
God really crawls when you're alone. I just want some company.
Alright, so we got our melee weapon now. This is the equivalent of the sky hook.
So stuck up she is. I'll show her what happens to them stuck up types.
Got a tattoo of a chain. Left hand. I believe that Booker DeWitt in BioShock. Oh shit! Alright, let's beat the flames off this wrench here. Fireman Dan to the rescue.
I found her that way!
Oh my god! Oh, hi there! Whoa! Guy!
My daddy's smarter than Einstein, stronger than Hercules, and lights a fire with a snap of his finger. Aren't you as good as my daddy, mister? Not if you don't visit the Gatherer's Garden, you aren't. Smart daddy gets sliced at the garden.
Now there's a certain, I don't know, you could almost call it cheating for scares when, you just go back to the retro era. I'm not sure why that is. Just it's very easy to take older settings and make them creepy. Like my argument is, now I've got no research to back this up, but I would say it's because there's kind of this sense of the uncanny. You know, you see buildings and structures that you kind of recognize, but everything's just different from what you're used to seeing. You know, it's just a little bit off because, you know, art and sensibilities were different back then. So it's very easy to play up that sense of the uncanny and that things that are slightly different than the way you're used to seeing them. All right, there's garden. Let's go ahead and pick it up. Electrical. So these are going to work essentially the same way as BioShock.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped. Wonder if he's still got some Adam on him. Let's buck. Weak! You're a weak chopper. This little fish ain't worth towing it with no big daddy. Yellow! Always have been. You'll be no better off with metal daddy, little fish. See you floating upright.
Look, Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel. I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute, he's still breathing. It's all right. I know he'll be an angel soon.
You all right, boyo? First time plasmid's a real kick from a mule, but there's nothing like a fistful of lightning now, is there?
Now that was a bit of a stretch for believability in me. I don't know that if I were, you know, in this crazy underwater world and I just found, you know, some needle, I would inject it into myself. That's a bit of a stretch. But hey, like you said, nothing beats a fistful of electricity. And we just got our first glimpse of the iconic Big Daddies. It's probably the most famous character, most recognizable character.